welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to a new episode of Africa Today, where we get you the latest news and events taking place on the African scene. And today we will be talking about the visit of Sultan Haytham bin Tariq Al Said of Oman to Egypt, where President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi, and visiting Sultan Haytham bin Tariq of Oman, stressed keen interest in boosting historic cordial relations binding both Egypt and the Sultanate of Oman. The statements were made during summit talks between the two leaders that were held at the Ittihadiyya Presidential Palace. The talks probed enhancing distinguished bilateral relations between the two Arab countries, as well as continuing consultations over regional and international issues. The Omani Sultan began on Sunday a two-day official visit to Egypt, his first since he assumed power in January 2020. Welcome back, dear viewers, and on the significance of the visit of Sultan Haytham bin Tariq Al Said of Oman to Egypt, we're delighted to be joined over the phone by Dr. Mustafa Tammam, political analyst. Good afternoon, sir.
Thank you.
Dr. Tammam, the visit of Sultan Haytham bin Tariq comes amid serious challenges in the Middle East and also around the world. It comes also immediately after the visit.
Arab Summit.
Sorry, sir?
Can
you hear me?
Yes, sure.
It comes immediately after the Arab League summit that took place in Jeddah on Friday. So how do you assess the significance of this visit during this time?
Well, certainly this is a very important visit, especially as you just mentioned now. The world now, and not only the Middle East, the whole world is in turbulence. You see, we have a lot of political and economical troubles. And certainly, at this stage, the unity of the Arab world is vital, you see, because we are all facing challenges. And certainly, the relations between Oman and Egypt have been very strong since a long time ago. And certainly, this visit will probably boost investments in both countries and certainly enhance the political situation for both countries. On the other side, certainly, it is important that we mention that this will be a role model for Arab countries to follow in order to have unity, and because unity gives strength, and strength certainly will be very important at this moment in order to face these challenges.
Right. Well, sir, a number of memorandum of understanding are going to be signed during this visit. How do you see the significance of those MOUs, and specifically in the field of future cooperation in the fields of economy and trade?
Well, what I would like to say, a very important point, is after signing these memorandum of understanding, there should be an action plan in order that the both countries will start moving ahead after the heads of state have agreed to certain points. Certainly there should be an action plan in order to implement the recommendations, and certainly I recommend also to have a steering committee in order, because certainly we have obstacles in implementing all these projects. So certainly a steering committee in order to elevate obstacles and facilitate matters certainly will be very, very important. At this stage now, Egypt has a lot of strength in the industrial and the oil sector, and they have a lot of know-how and technology, and our manpower actually is up to date. So certainly cooperation in this field will be very, very important.
Sir, do you agree that the visit comes as a continuation of historical ties binding Egypt and Oman throughout history?
Yes, I just mentioned that. The relations have been very old and strong, and certainly this visit certainly be, as I mentioned, the role model for other countries to follow the same concept in order to have a unity, because unity for Arab countries will be considered a strength at this moment in order to meet the economic and the political challenges that the world is meeting now.
Right. Well, sir, the trade ties and the investment between the two countries has increased dramatically during recent years. How do you assess the future of cooperation in this regard?
Well, actually, I expect that the investments and the business were going to increase, okay? Because certainly the unity of Arab countries, and certainly Egypt has a lot of potential in order cooperate with the Sultanate. So certainly, I expect that the volume of business will raise dramatically. Certainly after these visits, and certainly after signing these memorandums, and as I mentioned to you, after putting an action plan in order to have what these recommendations have been made, to put them into action.
Right. Well, I would like to thank you very much, Dr. Mustafa Tamam, a political analyst. Many thanks for your insight. And dear viewers, now we go to a short break and we'll be right back.
نحن لدينا مصير مشترك.
مصر تسلمت الرئاسة الدورية للاتحاد الإفريقي لعام 2019 وتتطلع كعادتها دوما للتعبير عن شواغل الشعوب الإفريقية الشقيقة الرامية لتحقيق الاستقرار والتقدم ودفع عجلة التنمية قدما. إذا كنتم ترغبون في تغيير وجه القارة الأفريقية، فالاتحاد الإفريقي كقيادة تستطيع أن تعمل وتدرس بشكل مركزي لمشروع عملاق لبناء بنية أساسية على مستوى القارة. أنا أتصور أن الأمن والاستقرار استثمار. إذا لم تستقر هذه القارة والأمن فيها معدلاته عالية، هذا الأمر سينعكس بالسلب علينا كلنا.
Welcome back, dear viewers, and now we go to this report on Egypt being a keystone of United States engagement in the Middle East. Let's check out this report.
U.S. Undersecretary of Commerce for International Trade, Marisa Lago, said that the U.S. looks forward to building on U.S.-Egyptian leaders' strategic dialogue and advancing shared commitment to strengthening economic and commercial ties between the two nations. In her opening remarks at the inaugural U.S.-Egypt Joint Economic Commission, the official who is leading a U.S. delegation on a visit to Egypt added that she is optimistic about the GEC's potential to deepen economic, trade and investment ties, promote shared prosperity, and prepare economies for the future and forge resilience to global economic shocks. She said that the robust participation that they can see here is a testament to how much they value the strategic partnership with Egypt and how committed President Biden is to strengthening that partnership. For the U.S. Department of Commerce, Egypt is a keystone of their engagement in the Middle East and Africa. As the largest destination in Africa for U.S. exports, there is no denying Egypt's commercial importance. Likewise, U.S. companies are increasing their presence here to help Egypt meet its goals across a variety of sectors, especially in information and communication technologies and infrastructure. The United States is also one of the largest foreign investors in Egypt, with over 1,000 U.S. companies operating in the country, providing jobs, supporting families and communities, and boosting economic activity.
Welcome back, dear viewers, and moving on to our next report. The Foreign Minister Sameh Shoukry stressed that Egypt stands firmly with its African brothers to face the challenges facing the African continent. More details in this report.
According to a statement by the spokesperson for the Foreign Minister Ahmed Abu Zeid, Foreign Minister Sameh Shoukry asserted in a meeting with African ambassadors on Monday that Egypt stands firmly by its African brothers, stressing the importance of unity and solidarity in confronting the challenges that face the continent. Shoukry's remarks came as he received the African ambassadors in Cairo on the occasion of Africa Day, due to be celebrated on the 25th of May. This year's celebration also marks the 60th anniversary of the establishment of the Organization of African Unity, OAU. Abu Zaid added that Shukri met with the ambassadors ahead of the celebration to express congratulations. Shukri stated that the founding fathers of the OAU made great progress in promoting self-governance, peace, security, and development in Africa. In 2002, the OAU developed into the African Union, the AU, after many African nations declared in 1999 that the time had come for a new organization to replace the OAU. The unity of African countries remains central to overcoming any challenges these countries may face, Shukri asserted, shedding light on current geopolitical tensions as well as other crises. He went on to say that the coronavirus, the war in Ukraine, and the energy and climate crisis have all had an adverse impact on Africa, stressing that the continent has been hardly hit too by lack of food security, inflation, and debt. Hence, Africa Day provides the chance for African countries to reaffirm their bonds of fellowship and foster solidarity and cooperation as they strive to achieve their goals and improve the lives of their people. The statement cited the Egyptian Foreign Minister as saying.
Welcome back, and moving on to health. New cholera cases in the African continent are surging fast, reaching a third of the 2022 total in a month.
Africa is witnessing a rise in cholera cases amid the global surge. Cases recorded on the continent in the first month of 2023 alone have already risen by more than 30% of the total caseload reached in the whole of 2022. An estimated 26,000 cases and 660 deaths have been reported as of 29th of January 2023 in 10 African countries, facing outbreaks since the beginning of the year. In 2022, nearly 80,000 cases and 1,863 deaths were recorded from 15 affected countries. If the current fast rising trend continues, it could surpass the number of cases recorded in 2021, the worst year for cholera in Africa in nearly a decade. Average case fatality ratio is currently almost at 3%, above the 2.3% reached in 2022, and far exceeding the acceptable level of below 1%. The bulk of the new cases and deaths have been recorded in Malawi, which is facing its worst cholera outbreak in 2 decades. Malawi's neighbors, Mozambique and Zambia, have also recently reported cases. In East Africa, Ethiopia, Kenya, and Somalia are responding to outbreaks amid a prolonged and harsh drought that has left millions of people in dire need of humanitarian assistance. Burundi, Cameroon, Democratic Republic of the Congo, and Nigeria have also reported cases.
And dear viewers, with that final report, we come to the end of this edition of Africa Today. Many thanks for watching, and stay tuned for the to the panorama news that will be coming up shortly.